Hope Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kmu Live Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggi, and joining me down there, Janine. How you doing, Janine?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
Doing all right. Just dealing with some stuff and trying to get over it. But we'll see. We'll get there.
It seems like there's so much going around right now, and it's just kind of hard to get over everything that's
right
out there.
Yeah. Other than that, just been getting by.
Getting by is good. It's a start anyway, right?
Yeah.
Man, did you see that case that they picked up here in Finney County? Can't remember if it's today or yesterday. They picked up a guy for child porn. Traced here.
I'm trying to think if I saw that or not. I don't remember if I saw that one or not.
Yeah, it looks like the police department was contacted by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in the Internet Crimes Against Children unit out of Johnson County. So They picked up a 24-year-old guy. Evidently, they've got him on multiple counts of sexual exploitation of a child.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Lock him up and lose the key.
Right. The ones against kids just always just get me.
Hello, Christopher. Hello, Esther. How you guys doing?
Hey, guys.
7 fewer missing kiddos, a fewer missing adults. So it's been a good week, better than last week where we had like 20 more missing kids. So,
yeah,
it's headed in the right direction, but it's still terrifying.
Right. It is for sure.
It's amazing in a state as small as Kansas that there's that many.
Yeah. I've done 2 flyers today for here in Salina just today. So.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. I mean, you know, the runaways just are always.
Yeah.
Those are hard. And then when you have the repeat ones, it's, kind of wonder what's going on with them.
Right.
It needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Context, as of 2023, New York City at one point had 3,074 missing children.
Holy mackerel.
Wow.
That's a bunch of kids. Man, that's a bunch.
Yeah. Right. Yep. We have justice for Cynthia Renee Gonzalez here tonight, too.
Yep. Be sure everybody's sharing the show out and get as many people in here as we can get in here tonight.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll run the first reel and we'll do some cases. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved.
Part 1: Cold Cases, Stories Left Untold, Families Seeking Answers, and Justice Waiting in the Shadows. Together, we uncover the truth.
All right. You want to go ahead and do this one?
Yeah, I can do that one.
Okay.
This is Justin William Saavedra from Leavenworth, Kansas. He's been missing since January 1st of 2013. At the time of Justin's disappearance, he was 23. Now he's 36. He's 5'11" weight from between 145 to 170 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Areas that are currently being searched for Justin include Cass County, Missouri, St. Joseph, Missouri, Lawrence, Kansas, and Leavenworth, Kansas. So kind of a wide area there. He was last seen to be wearing a black hoodie, hydraulic brand jeans, and brown Doc Martin shoes. If you have any information regarding Justin's disappearance, as you know of, or you know of his whereabouts, you can call the Leavenworth Police Department at 913-682-4411 or 913-682-5724, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. And as you can see from the pictures, there's quite a few different ones that kind of give different views at different times, different points in his life. So yeah, let's get him found. Get some answers from his family.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's quite a wide
That's
area.
Yeah, it is. It's been a little while since he's been missing. It's trying to think how long it's been. It's, since 2013. So yeah, a good 12 years. So we can do to get him found. Looks like it was a military man, and so let's see what we can do to get him found and get him back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, get some answers for him.
Yeah.
The next one's kind of one that has been near and dear to my heart too.
Yeah.
On the next flyer. Nope, wrong one. Go ahead.
I think he changed up the order is what he did.
He did.
Yeah. This was Jackie Danae Hay. She's been missing from Topeka, Kansas since September 12th of 1981. 5 when she went missing. She'd now be 49. When she went missing, she was 3'6", weighed 45 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. She disappeared after going out to play with her step-siblings and other children in the front yard of their home in the 3100 block of Southeast Colfax in Topeka. Eventually, all other children went inside, leaving her alone. Her family was getting ready to go to a house they were building south of Topeka when they discovered she was missing at about 4 p.m. on September 12, 1981. Jackie was last seen walking away from the Colfax and Golf Park near Southeast 31st and Bryan, about 1 block east of her home. She was apparently being followed by a man at the time. She has never been heard from again. Authorities did not begin searching for Jackie for 4 hours after her disappearance was reported. Police picked up a local man the same night who matched the description of the man seen following Jackie. They questioned him for hours about her disappearance, but ultimately released him without charge. Jackie has freckles across the bridge of her nose and one small freckle between her right thigh and pelvis. She has a small cavity between her upper front teeth. She has a small scar along her right eyebrow, and her hair was cut in a Dutch boy style at the time of her disappearance. If you have any information regarding Jackie's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9551 or 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Jackie located and see, hopefully she's still out there somewhere. See if we can get her found and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah, she definitely tugs at your heart. Just such, you look at those pictures and you see just such innocence on her little face, and just so long since she's been gone. Hopefully they can find something and kind of figure out what's going on to get some information. It does make you wonder why they didn't begin searching for 4 hours.
It does. It does. I don't know why it took them so long.
Yeah, I don't know. I think things were so different then too.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, sure they were.
Yeah. hopefully at some point to be able to find something for her.
Right.
I don't know. It's just so concerning.
Yeah, it is. Let's see if we can do to get her found and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah,
It's
this is
been way too long.
yeah, definitely. Um, Rachel's been gone for a long time too. This is Rachel Geraldine Pratt. She's actually the longest missing person out of Finney County. She's missing from Garden City, Kansas, and she went missing on January 6th of 1995. At the time of her disappearance, she was 15. She's now 45 years old. Um, She's 5'7" tall, 125 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen watching a movie inside her family's residence here in Garden City at approximately 1 a.m. on January 16th. She disappeared under suspicious circumstances and has never been heard from again. She left all of her clothing and personal belongings at her home, except she did take her coat. 5 days after her disappearance, some girls claimed to have seen her talking on a payphone with her 18-year-old boyfriend. They say she left the phone with her boyfriend, and after asking the girls for a ride, then went to Dylan's grocery store. The sighting has not ever been confirmed, and her boyfriend denies having been with her after she vanished. She was supposed to be a witness against her boyfriend, who was being prosecuted for unlawful sexual relations with her because she disappeared before she could testify. The charges against him were dropped. They had started dating when Rachel was a 14-year-old high school freshman and her boyfriend was a senior. The guy was her first boyfriend, and her mother found out when she was pregnant after Rachel was arrested for attempting to shoplift a home pregnancy test from Walmart. She gave her statement to the police at that time. There's been no evidence to indicate that Rachel has given birth. There is also no record of her ever receiving a driver's license, a copy of her birth certificate, or a social security card. She may have remained in Garden City area after her disappearance. There have been no sightings of her for many years, but authorities remain hopeful that she is still alive. She has 7 siblings. Her mother still lives at the same address and has kept the same phone number. If you have any information about her disappearance or know of her whereabouts, please call the Garden City Police Department at 620-276-1300, or you can call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 620-275-7807, or you can text your tip to Garden City Police Text GC Tip and your tip to Tip 411 at 847-411. Let's get some information on this. You can't tell me that there's somebody out there that doesn't know something. I mean, somebody's known something all of these years and just has chosen to remain quiet about it. And
See, Queenie's in the house. How you doing, Queenie? See, Raynetta Hubbard's in the house. How you doing, Raynetta?
yeah, no protocol before the Amber Alert. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is one of those. Yeah, you're right. They didn't come up missing. Kids didn't come up missing back then like they do now. Yeah, I think this is one that has just been revisited over here, and there's somebody that knows something.
Yeah. And that is the most recent age progression that's on her flyer, too.
Yeah. I know they still have, over the last several years gone to different places and still been trying to follow up leads. So I'm glad that they do that.
Yeah. And real quick, speaking of Amber Alerts, I know we talked about this one case a few weeks ago. Emily Pike, the indigenous girl that was murdered and found dismembered in trash bags down in Arizona. I was reading this morning that the governor down there in Arizona signed into law what they call a turquoise alert, which is basically like an Amber Alert for indigenous missing people down there. So they just signed that into law in Arizona. So they've got that going now.
That'll be helpful, I think. That would be great to be able to have to help with those cases because, I think there's been so many times that there's no trace of, the girls that have gone, the kids that have gone missing.
Right. And they have similar alerts for indigenous people in other states as well too. But Arizona's following suit now, so which is good. They need it.
Yeah,
Um,
really.
this young lady here is Brittany Johnson. She's missing from Junction City, Kansas since May 4th of this year. She's 22, 5'6", 170 to 180 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in Raytown, Missouri in a 2007 or 2008 red Mazda four-door with a black male about 24 or 25 years of age, between 5'8" and 5'9" inches tall, weighing about 260 pounds. He has braces and facial hair. Another information I saw was, I believe they said he, can't remember how they said he had his hair styled now, darn it. Brittany, again, she's 22, 5'6", weighs between 170 and 180 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a black top, black shorts, and black slider house shoes. If you have any information regarding Brittany's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Junction City, Kansas Police Department at 785-762-5912 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can get Brittany located and back home to her family. Her family did reach out to me and ask me to make that flyer. So see what we can do to help get her found back to where she needs to be.
Yeah, I'm glad her family reached out. I think that's so much more helpful when the families reach out, because then they give you information sometimes that adds a little bit to what, some of the police reports have.
Right. I see Helen down there saying, and this is in regards to that turquoise effect in Arizona, should have been in effect a lot longer ago. Yeah, that should have been. It should have been.
I guess at some point you have to go with it's better late than never happening at all. But yeah,
Right.
I agreed. This is Rosalind Hamlin Hampton. She's missing from Wichita, Kansas. She's been missing since May 4th of this year. She's 35 years old. Rosalind is 5'7" tall, weighs 140 pounds, and she has brown eyes. She is living homeless and has been struggling with substance abuse issues. Again, she's 38 years old, 5'7" tall, and weighs 140 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. You can see a picture down at the bottom that shows pictures of her chest tattoos. If you have any information regarding Rosalind's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's see if we can find Rosalind and get her to a place that's safe.
Yeah.
Those homeless, when people are living homeless, is such a hard way of life, I think.
Yeah, it is. My understanding from talking to her mom is that she had been being harassed by someone and had gone missing shortly after she was being harassed by somebody. So really need to get her found to make sure she's okay.
Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah. And this is Ronald Howie. This is another one's a little bit of an older case from 2021. He's missing from Argentine, Kansas since October 30th of 2021. He's 36 when he went missing. He's now be 39, 5'7", weighs between 150 and 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He left a family member's home in Argentine, Kansas around midnight walking and hasn't been seen since. He did not have a cell phone or a vehicle. Ron would often walk around Argentine or to a friend's house if he didn't have a ride. Family said it's not like Ron not to contact his family after this length of time. Again, he was 36 when he went missing, and now be 39. He's 5'7", weighs between 150 and 155 pounds. Has brown hair and brown eyes. Has a tattoo of stars on both shoulders. The right star has fire coming off the top. Tattoo of Angelina written on his left hip in big letters, and a tattoo of a green R on his calf. If you have any information regarding Ronald's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-573-8680 or 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Ronald located and back to where he needs to be.
I've never heard of Argentine, Kansas. Evidently, it's in the Kansas City area, but
It must be, if it's a 913 area code, it must be around that area. And KCPD is the one investigating it, so they must
yeah,
be like a suburb or really, really close.
yeah, it must be.
I'll have to look at the map.
Yeah, because that's a different place.
Yep.
This is Dietrich Foster, and he's a little bit of an older case as well. Dietrich is missing from Independence, Kansas, and has been gone since April 12th of 2020. At the time of his disappearance, he was 37 years old and is now 42 years old. He's 5'9" tall, 190 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th, but was last seen around April 12th in Independence. The KBI agents and detectives from Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Foster's disappearance. He has a scar on his chest from heart surgery and a scar on the right side of his nose. He has the following tattoos: a cross on his right forearm, the astrological sign for Gemini on his right arm, 3 dice on his arm, the name Déjeuner on his arm, and the word fou on his abdomen. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please contact the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. There is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the suspected murder and disappearance of Dietrich Foster. Would be nice to know where he is at.
Right.
Hey, Rodney.
I know the detectives can't really say, but I'd be interested to know what their findings were that led them to that conclusion. But
yeah. Hi, Ellen.
Hey, Ellen, how you doing?
Hey, Terry.
That's my kid brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you've been both to Argentine and Armourdale. Never heard of Armourdale either.
Yeah, and there's Melissa Saavedra. Saying thank you for getting my brother Justin's info out there. You're very welcome, Melissa. Trying to just do our part to help get him located and back where he needs to be.
Yeah. Hopefully they can find out, what's happened to Dietrich.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Part 2. Endangered Runaways, Young Lives at Risk, Stories that Demand Attention, and a Race Against Time. Together we can make a difference.
All right, and this is one I literally just did right before the show. I just added her literally last second. This is Anadelia Jimenez, missing from here in Salina since May 9, 2025. She's 15, 5'4", 110 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She never did return home from school on May 9th, this past Friday. It's believed she may still be here in the Salina area, or she may be in the Wichita, Kansas area. And she's 15 years old, 5'4", weighs 110 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes, and she does wear eyeglasses. If you have any information regarding Anadelia's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210. or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get Anadelia located and get her back to where she needs to be.
Doesn't it make you, do you have any idea how she got possibly from Salina to Wichita?
That I don't know. I wasn't given any kind of information on that one, so I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to know.
Yeah, it would be.
Rodney says he's kind of like that old song, He's Been Everywhere. This is Melanie Davidson from Salina, Kansas, missing since May 5th of this year. They are 16 years old, 5 foot 8 inches tall, 115 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Melanie may identify as male and sometimes interchanges the use of their name Melanie with Max. Melanie is 16 years old, 5 foot 8 inches tall, weighs 150 pounds, again with brown hair and blue eyes. Melanie or Max, they are known to change their hair color. If you can see the pictures above, I thought they almost looked like two different people,
Right.
just because of not because of the haircut, but just their facial expressions. If you have any information on Melanie or Max's disappearance, or you know of their whereabouts, please call 911 immediately, or call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's get them found so they can come home to their family, because they just need to be able to be safe and bring them home.
Definitely. And I have done flyers for her in the past when she was like 13 and things of that nature. So not a stranger by any stretch.
Yeah, which is sad.
Yeah. And this is Ethan Keith. And where are you hiding at in my listing here? No, I pulled you. There you are, right there. Missing from Wichita, Kansas since May 10th, 2025. He's 16, 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighs between 150 and 160 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. He does have some serious mental health concerns and is currently without his medication. It's believed he may be in the Kansas City, Missouri area. He also has ties to Wichita, Kansas, Fort Scott, Kansas, Odessa, Missouri, Independence, Missouri, and Warrensburg, Missouri. And he's 16 years old, 5 foot 7, weighs between 150 and 160 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Ethan's disappearance, or you know his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately, or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456, or 316-660-9254, or 316-263-6011. or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get Ethan located and get him back to where he needs to be so they can get him some help and get him back on track.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep in mind, everybody, that those ties are pretty wide apart too, so it's important to keep an idea of all of those places.
And I forgot to change his flyer out to the newer one where it talked about, I believe it's in the Kansas City, Missouri area, because I got that information earlier today and I updated it on the flyer. I just didn't get it switched for the show.
Okay, this is Raylan Reed, missing from Wichita, Kansas since May 1st of this year. She is 17 years old. She's 5 foot 2 inches tall, 120 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information calling Raylan's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456, or 316-660-9254, or at 316-263-6011, or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Any information that you have would be very helpful. I think people need to remember too that no detail is too small.
Right.
You never know what's going to You never know what's going to be that one piece of information that helps find someone.
Right.
So,
And we've covered this young lady before, but she's missing again. And I had different pictures the last time. Last time she was, had her hair done real nice, makeup done real nice, and that kind of thing. And this picture was actually taken the day that she went missing this time on May 9th. Hillary Hillibert, again, missing since May 9th of this year. She's 16, 5'7" to 5'8", 130 pounds, blonde or strawberry hair and blue eyes. She does have nose piercings. If you have any information regarding Hillary's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI is 785-296-4017 and see if we can get Hillary located and back to where she needs to be. And that would be what her hair actually looks like, blonde with the dark at the top and things of that nature. So that would be her current look right now. Unless, of course, she got her hands on some hair dye and changed it, but I don't know. Haven't been told that yet, but if I should be told that, I will update that.
yeah, you never know. That hair color can change so quickly.
Oh, I know it.
So this is Peter Sawyer, missing from Wichita, Kansas. He's been missing since May 8th of 2025. Peter is 16 years old. He's 5'8" to 5'11" inches tall, weighs about 140 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. He may be using the name Armani Tatum. Peter's nose has a septum piercing, and his nose and ears are pierced. If you have any information regarding Peter's disappearance or you happen to know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011. Or you can contact the KBI at 785-296-4017. Let's bring Peter home. Just for clarification,
Oh, you froze up, Janine.
I froze up. Uh-oh.
Oh, no, you're good again. You're good again. What were we saying? What were we getting ready to say?
Yeah. I was just going to clarify that he has nose piercing, septum, and his ears are pierced.
Right. I was going to clarify real quick. The Armani Tatum name is actually his given name. The Peter Sawyer is his adopted name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but apparently he does use the Armani Tatum. So, and he is a frequent flyer on here. We've covered him several times in the past. So he's ran several times.
Yeah. I think it's helpful to know that distinction between Armani Tatum and Peter Sawyer.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's see if we can get him found back to where he needs to be.
Part 3. Out-of-state cases. Beyond Kansas borders, stories of the lost and the unsolved remind us that every missing voice deserves to be heard.
All right. And I haven't seen Jody's mom in here yet tonight. I was hoping she would be here. I haven't seen her yet, but this is Jody Lee Ledkins, missing from Kansas City, Missouri since May 23rd, 1985. She was 14 when she was missing. She would now be 54. So we're coming up on the anniversary of her disappearance here pretty soon. She's 5'1", 90 pounds, blonde brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen at her boyfriend's house in the 700 block of Cambridge Street in Kansas City, Missouri on May 23rd, 1985. She had an argument with her boyfriend and other friends on the day of her disappearance. She apparently wanted to accompany them to their destination, but they refused. Jody walked to a nearby friend's residence and called her mother asking for a ride home to the 1600 block of East Topping Street. Her mother did not have her car, and Jody told her she would need to find another ride. She was last seen walking northbound on Winchester from 14th Street. Jody was never heard from again. She did not take any money or extra clothing with her when she disappeared. Jody was enrolled in the juvenile probation program at the time she disappeared. She and her friend had a run-in with security guard in 1984. Her caseworker was contacted by Jody's mother after the disappearance. The caseworker filed 2 warrants for Jody, listing her as an endangered juvenile who should be detained by authorities if she was spotted. Jody's mother assumed that the warrants also meant juvenile authorities had filed a missing persons report or missing child report with law enforcement. They had not. Law enforcement never considered Jody as a missing person until 1987, 2 years following her disappearance, because they had not been notified. As a result, Jody's case was obviously extremely delayed, and clues were minimal by the time the investigation began. In 1997, police dragged the Missouri River after 2 prison inmates claimed they had information on the case. Their tip went nowhere, but it led the Kansas City Police Department to reclassify Jody's case as a probable homicide. Her mother now lives in Arkansas but visits Kansas City a few times every year to search for her daughter. Jody's case remains unsolved. If you have any information regarding Jody's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5140 or 816-234-5111, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or their toll-free number 866-362-6422, and see if we can help get Jody located and back to her mom, and see what we can do to help that along.
Double T's comment, the abrupt breaks. I was on my laptop and I lost my microphone. Apparently you guys couldn't hear me talking. I thought I set up the breaks, but I guess you guys just went straight to break. But
yeah,
we're in the studio now, so we should be good now to keep going.
Okay. Yeah, it's just going straight to break.
Yeah, I think my mic cut out. My internet cut out on the first flyer, and when I came back, my mic wasn't working. So, but we're good now. Dana Jane's on the screen, ready to rock.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is Dana Jane Bruce. She was missing from Sedalia, Missouri, since October 4th of 2008. At the time of her disappearance, she was 23, and she's now 39 years old. She is 5'2" tall, weighs 98 pounds, with brown hair and green hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She had left her children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. When she came back at midnight, she gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. She was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier the night of her disappearance, and she left with that same man at about 11:30 that night. Police identified the man that she was with the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and the police questioned him about Bruce after he was arrested there on unrelated charges. He was arrested on a marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities haven't named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. Excuse me, I have a little helper here. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She doesn't have any credit cards, debit cards, a checking account, or a cellular phone or a car with her. At the time of Dana's disappearance, she was 23. Again, she would now be 39. She's 5'2" tall and weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black on the ends with red highlights. And she has green hazel eyes. Dana was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. You can see that up at the top. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch thick scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder, and her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or MSHP at 573-526-6178. There's also a toll-free number at 866-362-6422, or you can call Private Investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070. Please, somebody call or give some information so that way Dana can be found.
Definitely.
Yeah. Brina, yeah, I have a couple of puppies that are here, and they are providing a little bit more help than normal. So if you see my computer bounce, that's why.
Okay. All right. This one's Cynthia Renee Gonzalez. This is an unsolved homicide from Arlington, Texas. Back on September 17, 1991, Cynthia Renee Gonzalez was reported missing to the Arlington, Texas Police Department. On September 22nd, 1991, Cynthia's body was discovered in a creek bed off County Road 313 in Johnson County, Texas. It was later determined that Cynthia died from multiple gunshot wounds. Cynthia was reportedly at her apartment with her boyfriend when her husband stopped by to deliver their daughter for a weekend visit. Sometime later, Cynthia left for an appointment without her customary bodyguard. She was never seen again. Serial killer Kenneth Allen McDuff, 1946 to 1998, was looked at in connection with Cynthia's death. Jim Ford, longtime Arlington police officer and a renowned homicide investigator, had looked at McDuff in connection with Cynthia's case for going on 18 years. He was never able to make a match or a mismatch. McDuff was believed to have abducted a victim from a car wash in Austin, Texas. Cynthia's car, a 2-seat Pontiac Fiero, was seen parked at a car wash in Arlington the day she disappeared. There were similarities in the Austin case and Cynthia's case. He kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and killed his victim in a car wash in Austin. He dumped the bodies of several of his victims in rural areas, and he killed several victims by shooting them. Investigators could not place McDuff in the Arlington area and could not determine whether he was out on the streets at that time, but they could not find him as being incarcerated either at that time. It was interesting, around the time Texas was dealing with a lot of prison overcrowding, so they were releasing certain inmates to try to alleviate crowding, and somehow McDuff was paroled at that point, which allowed him to go on and continue to do his killing. But anyway, other persons of interest have come up and been cleared as well. McDuff has since been ruled out by DNA. It's also important to note that Cynthia was an owner of a business in Arlington called Beauty and the Beast. They provided adult entertainment for special occasions. Cynthia, or Renee as she called herself, was the star attraction. And I feel it's important to bring that up because being that she was in that field, that means there could have been a lot of persons of interest at that point. But just wanted to bring that up. If you have any information regarding Cynthia's death, please contact Detective Stafford at 817-459-5772. If you wish to remain anonymous and possibly receive a reward of up to $1,250, please call the Toronto County Texas Crime Stoppers at 817-469-8477 and see what we can do to get some justice for Cynthia and her family. And I believe that Justice for Cynthia was going to shed some extra light on that. Cynthia was my best friend. She worked at the club I worked at. I did not work the night she was last seen. I was told the next day she'd gotten in a fight with some girls at the club the night before she went missing. I see. There are a lot of people. Yeah, I'm sure, like I said, and no disrespect to Cynthia by any stretch, but I'm sure in that line of work there was probably a lot of people of interest in one form or another, because sometimes in that kind of profession that does attract a lot of strange people. Let's put it that way. And not to mention, if she did get into a fight with some of the other girls at the club or whatever, I mean, that's a whole nother group of persons of interest too. Oh, I see. Okay, I was not allowed to reveal when it was under investigation. Okay. Well, thank you for letting us know that little tidbit, because I've never seen that mentioned anywhere before in any of the other information I've gone through and read. So that's interesting to know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's helpful too. I mean, I think with the profession, it's also because there are so many different people come in and out, it's a very vulnerable position to be in as well.
Yeah, it is. And that's probably why she had a customary bodyguard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of, even today, a lot of gals who work as escorts and whatnot, they won't go anywhere without a bodyguard. So
it also doesn't have the like Arlington. It's a populated area. I just Googled Arlington cold cases, and they have it broke up by years. From 2020 to now, there's over like 8, I think 10 here. I think these are just the main ones. That there. I mean, it's a pretty populated area, so you definitely have crime and stuff. So it's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not like a small town where this is the only thing that ever happened. Like it's sadly when you have a bunch of people in one area, crime rises, and
right.
And Arlington's great. I've been there a bunch of times as a kid. We visited there a lot, but no town is without an underbelly.
Right. Well, and around that time, like the flyer talks about, the serial killer Kenneth McDuff. I mean, he was active around that time in that area too. So I mean, I could see why they would think that he would be possibly a person of interest, being that he was doing his thing around that time. So
yeah, we did start the show with 142 missing children. We're at 144 within the last hour, and we did also gain another missing adult. So please share Ricky's flyers. Please share the show to everybody every week, and help us, get this out there. Ricky, your located safe video is done. You want me to go ahead and roll that?
Yeah, just real quick, though, Justice for Cynthia was saying there's also a red and white semi spotted near her vehicle at that car wash as well. So,
yikes.
Interesting little tidbit to know, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep, ready for the located safe.
All right, you're watching Kansas Missing Us All. I'll be right back after this.
It's always good to see those, that's for sure.
Yeah. They're always a nice spot at the end of the show.
Yeah. And I think I sent over 13 located safes this week. So between last show and this show, 13 located safes. So that's always good. Definitely.
Yeah.
A little bit shorter show tonight. Didn't have quite as many cases. We're trying to freshen up the cases and not try to do so many repeaters if we can help it, unless it's kind of, like maybe an anniversary on an anniversary date, or if it's something we haven't covered in a while, try to work it back in. But we're trying to keep it as fresh as possible for everybody. So it's just doesn't look like we're doing the same thing week after week after week after week. So, kind of bear with us while we get this figured out and get it, trying to get it going better. What were you going to say, Derek?
And it's a worker. Me and Ricky we started talking about it last week, and we were talking before the show. It'll probably, for a lot of these cases, we've covered them so many times that a lot of the people that represent them, as far as family members and friends, come here and watch. So like, we don't want to let them down. So we're probably going to end up doing is keeping those in rotation, but kind of do a couple each week and sort of rotate them in that way. We definitely want to show all of those cases until they are solved. But as you can see here, We only did like 16 cases today, and there's 144 missing kids. So we just want to make sure that we're not, missing other. We don't want other kids to fall through the cracks, because I hate to say it, but I think in a lot of cases, Ricky Chabruggi is the saving grace for a lot of missing people in this state. I don't see a lot of other people making flyers or doing that. So there's a ton of flyers. There's a ton of people missing. Ricky's one person. But yeah, just for the sake of not letting people who have already slipped through the cracks slip even further through the cracks, we just feel like it's important to try to cover as many fresh cases as possible.
Yeah, trying. It's just a work in progress, and we'll get her figured out. The best way to do it. I even tossed around to Derek, maybe taking some of them and making a pre-recorded video out of some of them, and then run them just as an individual pre-record video on the page. Once a week, once every other week, or maybe even during the show. Who knows? But we'll get it figured out.
We have lots of options. Grant, we'll I promise you, we'll show flyers every week, regardless. We'll figure out which ones we're going to do. But obviously, like if all of these flyers need answers, so if it doesn't make it on the show, that doesn't stop you from sharing it on your own personal social media. It doesn't stop. And with the way technology works these days, anybody can do what Ricky and Janine are doing right now. You literally just need like some type of internet connection, a microphone and a camera, which your phone has both. You can get on TikTok. You can download Ricky's flyer, paste it behind you, sit in front of it and read it, and do your own content. I promise you, Ricky will never copyright strike anybody for using his flyers. Nope. He would love you to use them till the sun goes down. So, by all means, grab as many flyers as Ricky can. Make your own content, and we will try to showcase all these flyers as much as possible. Again, we do need to have a resolution for these. And then she says that's why I'm wanting to do a podcast. Well, looks some people, Justice. So just send Ricky a message, and there's always a spot. There's always a microphone at Back Home Media. I promise you, we'll find you a spot. But Ricky,
Derek got me started.
Yeah, for sure. And Janine's been doing this. We've been doing it for a while, and it's fun. Yeah. Is there anything you all want to shout out before Ricky prays? Is there anything coming up in the next 7 days?
I do have one thing coming up this weekend at the mall, which I'm gonna be, it's a 3-day thing, but I won't be able to do the Friday because I have to work. But I'm looking at being at the mall on Saturday the 17th, and I'm up in the air on the 18th because I was invited to come down to Wichita. I'm trying to think. It was Kyle Nugelbauer's family is doing a birthday memorial for him at the location where he was last seen, and they've invited me to come down. And so I'm trying to decide whether I'm still going to do the Sunday thing at the mall or just Saturday only and do the trip to Wichita on Sunday. I'm still kind of up in the air on that one, so we'll just have to see how that goes. But for Saturday, for sure, I'll be at the mall from 10 to 8 at this Central Mall pop-up market with the Kansas Missing and Unsolved table. And then, like I said, we'll see about Sunday. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm really thinking about going down to Wichita for that because she's the gal that I've been talking to about is one of Kyle Nugelberger's family members, Nugelbauer, excuse me. And she said it would be an honor for me to be down there. So it's got me really thinking hard about going down there.
Well, that sounds fun. I know they'd love to see you there. I know that pretty much every family out there, if you've ever made a flyer for them, they feel a lot of love towards you. So I'm sure they'd love you to come down and be a part of that.
Right. But so that's really the only thing I got going on right now is that. And there's another event, and I think it's in June that I'll be doing too here in town also at the VFW. It's a family fun night at the VFW, and I've been invited to do the Kmu table there too. So I'll probably be doing that as well. So, nice. Yeah, getting it out there.
Those are pretty cool. I wish I lived closer to kind of come and hang out and visit and
that'd be cool.
Send people that way. That'd be kind of cool.
Careful what you wish for. We might send you and Kenny Williams down to places with your own booth.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I'm game for it.
There you go.
We'll bring the people in. I found out recently he's handsome. I didn't know. I've known him for 16 years. I must have missed it, but maybe it'll help us.
You never know.
My wife said he's good looking. I was like, okay, that's enough.
It's the hair. It's the hair. We'll
It's
do
the
something else
hair.
off those kids.
The hair.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
We'll do
Yeah.
something.
So if you all want to come down to Garden State this weekend, I will buzz cut Kenny Williams
Not
in
happening.
the free zone with Norm is next. Maybe Kent Williams will join us there backstage or on stage. Who knows? We're going to be talking a lot of music tonight. We're going to be back next week. I don't think there's any major holidays next Wednesday. We should be just normal business as usual. We'll
Yeah, I
be
don't
here.
think there's anything.
Last day of
holidays.
school for Mr. Norm over here as a teacher. My
wow.
kids will be done Friday. A lot of kids were done today. So I think we're going to have a lot of energy next week from everybody involved because school is pretty much donezo for a little while.
Wow. Another school year done. Oh, my goodness.
One more in the books.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And again, just, share the shows out, share the flyers out. Like I say, with every flyer that I post, I always encourage everybody to share them, print them, post them, get them out there any way you can. And I know people have done it because I've seen them when I've been out of town a time or two, and people have sent me pictures of them when they've seen them out and about and things like that. So, and have told me about them. I was told about one girl that I did a flyer for in El Dorado real quick that she eventually turned herself in because she was tired of seeing her flyer everywhere down there.
That's awesome.
So somebody took them and posted them all over the place. I thought that was pretty cool. But just be sure to share them. Just let everybody know that we're here and what we're doing and we're trying to accomplish, and be very, very grateful for everybody that would do that. And with that being said, say, Heavenly Father, thank you again for another week and another show to be able to cover these cases and try to bring some missing people home and solve some unsolved homicides, and just pray that until we see each other again next week, everybody stay safe and healthy and happy, and everybody have a good night. God bless, and amen.
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 Back Home Media.